Hello, I'm Ebony, and I'm here to tell you the 5 lies that you're probably believing about working in China. Now, to be fair, these lies are spread by well-meaning people, not so well-meaning people on the internet, off the internet, and people are just regurgitating things that they've heard, what they understand, what's been explained to them in simple terms that are not the full picture. I'm here to break it down for you so that way you can be successfully employed in China doing something that you love. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Ebony. I help foreigners be self-employed in China so that way they can build a life that they actually enjoy waking up to. So, things you need to know so that way you can save a bunch of wasted time, money, and frustration. Let's get into it. Number 1. Teaching English in China is the only way to work in China. Teaching in China for the longest time has been the fastest and most profitable way for foreigners to live in China. Like literally 10 years ago, any foreigner could apply to any teaching job and get it and live in China and be basically middle class immediately. But things are very different than 10 years ago for many reasons. The economy is in a downturn. People are having less children. Schools are closing. More foreigners are coming into China. Schools are being more picky, aka more racist. And there's just the good jobs are harder and harder to come by, especially if you are not white. And so, as someone who has gone through 70 plus agents, multiple failed contracts, and dealt with being told every single day for 6 months that schools didn't want to hire me because I was Black. I was like, wow, this is very, very, very different than the story of what I've been told. And, it is true that finding other jobs in China for foreigners is not very easy. I would say that people are kind of in 3 main camps. They are working, teaching English, largest camp. Another camp, working for a multinational corporation, huge corporation, getting, transferred to China, making bank, but usually a higher level. Or they're like somehow working in a Chinese company, maybe being the mainly owned foreigner, or fluent in Chinese, or very, very small cases like that. And so, obviously, I think that, again, in the past, and maybe still now, the best recommendation is to just teach English in China, but it is so much harder than before. And this is why I was like, screw this, I'm making my own way. Because I was dedicated to come to China. People were like, go to Thailand, go to Vietnam, it'll be easier. And I'm like, no, China, that's going to be my home. So I created my own way, and you can stay till the end to hear about how I did this and how you can too. But now let's just go to lie number 2. You need a bachelor's degree and 2 years relevant work experience. So this one is one that most agents and recruiters will tell you. In order to get a work permit, that is the only way. That is not true. That's the most accessible way, usually for people. But there are a whole laundry list of ways that you can get a work permit in China. And I will actually link a website down, because when I found this website, I was like, oh my God, this is how. There's so many ways. I've been told that there's only a few ways, or one main way. So I love sharing this with people because there's just literally so many ways. Some of these main ways, other ways are applying through the point system. So you have these different categories. You can rate yourself, or you are rated by these different categories. And if you have a certain amount of points, you can get a category B or A visa, C, B, or A work permit. And that website also breaks down the work permit categories, because there's different levels of work permits and you get different benefits based off of them. So you can apply based off of different special categories they have, different points that you have, and also different cities. Like different cities and provinces have their own policies. So places such as Hainan, which is like an island, southernmost island in China, and cities like Yiwu, which is like an hour and a half by train outside of Shanghai. These two places are the most friendly for foreigners who do not have bachelor's degrees. These places are very friendly towards people who do not have these work requirements. And you can also, another way that you can get a work permit is by using the salary requirement. So if you make 4 times or 6 times the local average salary, depending on the work permit category that you're trying to get, basically that's how you can get a work visa without the bachelor's degree or 2 years relevant work experience. So this is especially good for people who are freelancers or digital nomads who are hosting their own work permit through their own company, because then they can choose to be in a city that makes it accessible for them to meet the salary requirement. Basically, if you open up your company in a city where the local average salary is lower, then that means that you need to make less money in order to apply for your work permit based off of the salary requirement. This 2 years relevant work experience can be especially tricky for people because your work experience, even if you worked full-time, like this is full-time work experience. So if you worked during college, which I feel like a lot of people do, that does not count towards your work experience. If this work experience is not basically exactly the type of job that you are applying for, it does not count. So again, for a lot of teaching jobs in China now, it is required that you have 2 years full-time teaching experience. If you just graduated from college, you don't have that. Like if you went straight from high school to college, you do not have work experience in the eyes of the Chinese government. It does not matter. It does not matter if you worked every single day of your bachelor's degree. You do not have work experience. If you were like, oh, okay, well, I need to figure out a way that I can work in China, then you look at these other pathways that are available, and there are many. If you're interested in learning more about how you can meet the salary requirements, set up your own company, and be a freelancer in China, self-employed, using and host your own work permit, then definitely stay tuned. There's more at the end of the video. On to number 3. You can't work in China after 60. So this one is based off of the statutory retirement age in China. It is, again, technically true for most cases, but there is a way around it. Again, if you look at certain cities like Guangzhou and I think Foshan are raising the limit to 63. Also, if you have a Category A permit through the point system that I just talked about, or through making 6 times the average local salary, what I just talked about, then you can have a work permit at any age. Like that is the highest category of work permit, and they have the ability to work at any age. So for people who have been teaching in China for years and they're like, oh, I'm getting up to the age, and it's like, I don't know what to do. And they just keep being told like, oh, well, you gotta leave. And it's like, there's a way. Obviously, making 6 times the local average salary, even in the cheapest place in the country, would be around 50k RMB, a little less, 45 to 50k RMB. So, I mean, that's nothing to scoff at, to try to make monthly, but there are ways. There are ways to open up your company and inject capital back into that company so that way you are able to continue to pay yourself that amount. Making 6 times the average local salary then goes into our 4th thing that you can do that people swear up and down, left and right, that is not possible, and that is apply for permanent residency. So yes, getting permanent residency in China is extremely hard. It is honestly one of the hardest countries in the world to get it, but it is possible. And you don't just have to marry a Chinese person. You don't have to have and be a Nobel Prize winner. Okay. If you follow this path that I just talked about, making 6 times the average local salary for 4 years, then you can apply for permanent residency. There's a special place in Shanghai where you only have to make 4 times the average local salary for 3 years and you can get permanent residency. And that is what I am doing because I want to make China my home. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I believe that for most people who are not employed by a multinational corporation or married to a Chinese person, I believe the best way that you can do that is by the 5th lie that people are probably telling you, which is that you cannot be self-employed in China. Now, being self-employed in China is technically not officially recognized by the government, but especially with the rise in support by local governments in China, such as here in Shanghai for policies that they call one-person companies, aka just being a freelancer or, an entrepreneur, it is possible to be self-employed in China by opening your own company and employing yourself. That's it. That's literally how you do it. And of course, this isn't just, sitting back and chilling. You need to actually be making money, aka the employment part. But there are many different ways that you can do that, and you're not restricted to just, one category for your business. So let's say, you're an artist, you love to make art online, you like to sell it in person, and you also, you like to teach dance on the weekends. Like, you can do all of this. You can claim all of this. You can claim 20 different business scopes, 20 different categories in your business, as long as it's not restricted to foreigners. So you are able to make the portfolio career that you want in China and build up to make up enough money where you can apply for permanent residency. It is possible. It is possible. And if you're super interested in learning how you can be self-employed in China without a bachelor's degree, without 2 years relevant work experience, without needing to teach English after the age of 60, all these things that people say that you can't do, you're in luck, because I just released a 60-page guide breaking down exactly how you can do it. Yes, how you can do it. How you can be self-employed in China, including sample business ideas, some of my city recommendations based on needs, and all the advice that I wish I had along the way. So if you're interested, you can find it in the description. The first 100 copies are 30% off, so make sure to get it before the price goes up. And if you appreciate this info, you can subscribe. I post weekly here talking about being self-employed in China, things that self-employed people in China should know. Also, just I have an upcoming series, an interview series with queer people in China. So if you're interested in learning more about the social and cultural stuff in China and young people's lives here in China, definitely feel free to subscribe. And if you're interested in the things that recruiters have said to me in my search of a teaching job here in China, you can click on this video. See you next week.